Hi, friends. Today I want to share a new story with you. I hope you enjoy it. The smell of lavender filled the room as I hung my wedding dress on the bedroom door. It looked soft and magical under the warm light, and the lace made pretty shadows on the wall. Tomorrow was supposed to be the best day of my life. But something felt wrong in my chest, like a quiet warning I couldn't ignore. After dinner, Stephen went downstairs, saying he had a few last things to finish. His parents had arrived earlier, bringing their usual cold attitude and quiet judgment. They made little comments about the small wedding and my simple background. I tried to let it go, but their words stayed with me. I checked on the twins, they were sleeping peacefully. Then I heard quiet voices from the living room. Stephen was talking with his parents. At first, I told myself to stay out of it. But the way they were talking made me curious. Then I heard my name, more than once. I slowly went down the stairs, heart beating hard. I stopped near the living room and crouched behind the railing, staying hidden. "Stephen, this is the only way," his dad said firmly. "If you marry her, you'll get the inheritance. Your mother and I didn't come this far to lose everything." "I don't think I'm ready," Stephen replied, sounding nervous. "Annabelle is a good person, but the twins, marriage, it's all too much. I don't even know if I'm the right person for her." "You don't get to choose," his mom said coldly. "You'll marry her, get the money, and if later it doesn't work, fine, but for now, you'll do what we say." I held on to the railing as their words hit me hard. To them, I wasn't a real person, I was just part of their plan. "What about the boys?" Stephen asked quietly. "What if I just walk away?" "They're her problem," his dad said, like it meant nothing. "She can handle them. Honestly, she should be thankful you're marrying her at all." I couldn't listen anymore. My ears rang as I hurried back up the stairs, my heart hurting. I locked my bedroom door and leaned against it, trying to breathe. Tears ran down my face. The man I loved wasn't who I thought he was just doing what his parents told him. I looked at the wedding dress again, it didn't feel special anymore, it felt like a joke. I was heartbroken, angry, lost. How could I marry someone who didn't really love me? How could I say vows that meant nothing to him? I wiped my tears and grabbed my phone. I sent a short message to my maid of honor. "Wedding's off. Please tell everyone. I'll explain later." She answered right away. "Ella, what? Are you okay?" I turned the phone over and didn't reply. I just sat on the floor, hugging my knees. All that mattered now was my children. Stephen and his lies had destroyed my dreams, but I would protect my boys, no matter what. Tomorrow, I wouldn't be walking down the aisle. I'd be walking away, for good. The next morning was quiet. The sun rose like the world was waiting to see what I would do. The dress still hung there, untouched. The twins stirred in their cribs, their little sounds pulling me out of my thoughts. Today was supposed to be the day I promised my life to Stephen. But those promises were already broken. I packed a bag with the basics, clothes, diapers, and toys for the boys. My hand shook as I zipped it shut. I couldn't stay here anymore. Stephen had gone out for errands. I planned to be gone before he came back. Just then, a knock on the door startled me. My heart jumped. Was it him? I opened the door slowly, and there was Ella, looking worried. "What's going on, Annabelle?" she asked, stepping in quickly. "Your text last night scared me." I closed the door and looked toward the stairs. "I can't marry him," I whispered. "Why not?" she asked, lowering her voice. "What happened?" I paused. The truth was heavy, but I needed to say it. "I heard him talking to his parents," I said. "They're making him marry me, for money. He doesn't want this. Not me, not the kids, nothing." Ella's eyes widened. "What? Are you serious?" I nodded, holding back tears. "I heard it all. He said he's not ready to be a dad." Before she could say anything else, the front door slammed shut. My heart dropped. Stephen's voice echoed down the hall. "Annabelle? Ella?" I grabbed Ella's arm, scared of what would happen next. His footsteps came closer. My heart raced. The door opened. Stephen stood there, eyes jumping between me and Ella. He saw the packed bag near the crib. "Why is that there?" he asked. "What's going on?" "I'm leaving," I said, my voice strong. He frowned and stepped toward me. "What are you talking about? Leaving? You're not making any sense." "I heard everything," I said sharply. "You and your parents last night. I know this marriage is just about money. It's not real to you." He looked pale and opened his mouth, but I cut him off. "Don't lie. You think I'm just some problem to deal with, But I won't marry someone who doesn't love me. Annabelle, wait. No, I said, stopping him. I deserve better. The boys deserve better. The room went quiet. The only sound was the twins waking up. Ella stood beside me, arms crossed, glaring at Stephen. Annabelle, he said softly, please, let's talk. I turned around, grabbed my bag and the twins, and walked out the door. I didn't look back. The hurt from what Stephen did was still heavy on my heart. The days after I left Stephen were a blur. I barely slept and kept moving. I stayed in a small, simple guest house, very different from the life I had with him. Every creak in the floor or gust of wind made me nervous, like Stephen or his parents might show up at any time. On the third night, after I put the twins to bed, there was a knock at the door. My heart raced with fear and anger. I slowly looked through the peephole. It was Stephen. I paused, but then I heard his voice. Annabelle, I know you're there, please, I just want to talk. With a tired sigh, I opened the door a little. His messy hair and tired eyes looked a lot like mine. What do you want? I asked, not hiding the coldness in my voice. He looked uneasy. I just want to explain, please. I stepped back and let him in. He looked around the room, softened when he saw the twins, then looked back at me with guilt all over his face. I'm sorry, he said quietly, for everything, for what you heard. I didn't want things to turn out like this. You didn't mean for me to hear the truth, I replied, folding my arms. He winced but kept going. My parents have always controlled my life, but that doesn't mean I don't love you or our boys. I let out a bitter laugh. You call that love? You let them run our lives, and now you think I can forget everything? No, he whispered, I don't expect that, but I'm asking for a chance to fix things, to show you I can change. I searched his face, looking for any truth. How? I'll cut them off. No more control, no more money. I want to do better, for you, for the twins. Please, Annabelle, don't give up on us. His voice was raw, and for a moment, I hesitated. Could he really change? Could I ever trust him again? Stephen, I said carefully, talk is cheap, promises are easy, but trust, that's hard, and I don't know if I can give that again. I'll do anything, he said, stepping closer. The twins started crying behind me, giving me a reason to step away. I need time, I said without looking at him. Right now, I have to focus on them, not us. He nodded slowly, his shoulders slumped. I understand, but I'll be here when you're ready. The door clicked shut as he left. I sat on the bed, his apology still in the air, but so were my doubts. Could love survive such a betrayal, or was it too late? Morning sunlight came through the curtains of our little place. The twins were asleep, their soft breathing filling the quiet. I stood at the window with a lukewarm cup of coffee, thinking about what Stephen said the night before. I had to make a choice, not just for me, but for my boys. As much as I wanted to stay in the pain, I couldn't. They needed me, I couldn't fail them. My phone buzzed, my heart jumped as I saw the message. We need to talk, it's urgent. Stephen. I didn't answer. I had made up my mind, I needed to move forward. As I checked my other messages, one stood out, from my lawyer. Annabelle, I've drafted the custody paperwork. Let me know when you're ready. That was the push I needed. Stephen's words didn't erase what he did. Trust was broken, and I wasn't ready to fix it. That afternoon, I set up a meeting with my lawyer. As I packed the diaper bag and got the twins ready, another knock startled me. My heart raced. Was it Stephen again? I opened the door slowly. A courier stood there with an envelope. Delivery for Ms. Annabelle Hayes, he said. I signed, shut the door, and opened it with shaking hands. Inside was a note in Stephen's handwriting. If you think you can take the boys from me, you're wrong. I'll fight you for them. Stephen. My stomach dropped. This wasn't the same man begging for another chance. This was someone else, someone I didn't know. By the time I got to my lawyer's office, I was sure. We need to move fast, I said, handing her the note. Her face turned serious. This changes everything. We need proof he's unstable. Do you have anything else? Just my word, I said, ready for the fight ahead. That night, as I tucked the twins in, I felt a deep unease. Stephen's note had lit a fire in me, but it also made something clear. This wasn't about love anymore. It was about protecting my children from someone dangerous. The court ruling came on a rainy Wednesday. I sat in the courtroom, hands clenched, my lawyer beside me. Stephen sat across the room, his face hard to read. When the judge gave me full custody, I felt a wave of relief. but it was bittersweet. This wasn't how I imagined life, raising twins alone, Stephen limited to visits with supervision, but it was the best choice for them, and that's what mattered. The storm outside matched how I felt inside. As I left the courthouse, holding the boys close, I whispered to myself, "It's over." Or so I thought. 2 weeks later, we found a rhythm, the boys were smiling more, and I started freelancing from home as a graphic designer. I was slowly rebuilding the life I dreamed of. One night, while getting the twins to bed, my phone rang. The number was unknown. I hesitated before answering. "Annabelle," said a voice I knew. It was Stephen's mother. "What do you want?" I asked, calm but firm. "I'm warning you," she said. "Stephen's not done. He's not well. Be careful." Her words sent a cold chill through me. The peace I had worked for suddenly felt fragile. That night, I checked every lock on the windows and doors. I let the twins sleep in my bed, afraid to let them out of my sight. The next morning, I heard a soft knock. My stomach dropped. I looked through the peephole, expecting Stephen, but it was a police officer. "Miss Hayes," he said seriously, "Stephen has been charged in the deaths of 2 ex-fiancés. Their bodies were found outside of town. His car was abandoned near the state line. We believe he may try to contact you." I nodded, fear curling in my stomach. That evening, while making dinner, I saw a note under the door. It was Stephen's handwriting. "You might have won the boys, but this isn't over. S." I froze, shaking. The fight wasn't over. But this time, I was ready. I called the police. They set a trap. 2 officers hid nearby. Late that night, Stephen picked the lock and burst through the door, his face wild with rage. The police jumped in and arrested him. That was the real end of my marriage, and for the first time in a long while, I felt safe. Now I know my boys are protected. Friends, what did you think of this story? Tell me in the comments. Want more stories like this? Don't forget to subscribe and tap the bell. See you tomorrow.